If you're looking for day trading education as well as high level professional trade analysis and dissect, you've come to a place. My name is Pat Mitchell. I've been a professional day trader for the past 11 years, and I definitely fumbled that intro, but that's all right. I'm here to give you exactly that free, unfumbled. It's one of those days, folks. Professional day trading, all here for free on YouTube and on X. And we are going to be talking about how not to cook your account. Do not trade like this. And we'll get into it. So give me 1 second. We're going to fly right into her, folks. All even though it's a perfect testament to this, it's something that we talk about all the time. No matter what is screaming you, I should not take that trade. Once it fits that strategy, you have to execute. That's the whole purpose of strategy. Strategy is designed to keep you safe in that respect and give you a layer of consistency. And if you still choose to decide whether or not to take that trade, if it meets all the requirements for strategy, you're going to have a lot of problems with consistency. Consistency will not work over time, period. Full stop. It won't. It can't, because you're not following the strategy. That's where a lot of people get mixed up with strategy. They develop a strategy and then they still determine whether or not to take that trade. Well, no, that's what strategy is there for. So it takes the thinking and the guesswork and the all of that out of it. So on this trade here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here for you folks, just so then you can see it. Really, really nice trade. Market opens up. We opens up into support, execute that trade long, and then pay ourselves on the way up. And the reason why I'm saying I don't want to take this, because if you wheel back this chart, there's not a lot of support there. It's just pre-market, and you're starting to get into an area where if it does want to break that, the ass end is going to drop out. And we're very extended as well. If I were to pull this daily chart back up too, we've come straight up without a significant pullback. Now, ultimately, shorts got squeezed. There was and it ahead. We feel that that's going to happen, right? So, that executed this trade only because it fit strategy, and it was a beautiful trade. Locked in $1,780 on that. You're going to see a red trade of like -80 or -60 bucks, whatever that is. Ended up selling. Instead of buying. It was a fat finger mistake. So I immediately took that off for members that heard me in the morning where I said, oh shit, that's what that was about. So quickly just disregarded that, cleared that position off, and then got re-involved with SPY. So that was cute. Now let's go over SPY. So SPY was perfect to plan. Absolutely incredible. The plan on SPY was to take it short coming into starting, just a starter position, starting into pre-market highs, because it was within an acceptable tolerance into our level to go short and part of our trade plan at 587.59. We wanted it to keep coming up higher so that we can acquire more size pushing into that on that first reaction. Now, we didn't get that, but what we did get here is a really nice initial short into pre-market highs, executed, paid ourselves. That's what this is. And then it was a matter of letting it set up properly and fully. So it ends up bottoming out here. It comes just a little bit below yesterday's lows, and then rebounds, remounts yesterday's lows, and pushes. You're going to get that squeeze, and that's exactly what we wanted. So as it comes up and squeezes out, we're going to initiate that trade, and absolutely nailed that. Not only did I nail it, members nailed it, and then simply reap the rewards and the benefit all the way down. Absolutely beautiful trade. Probably about a 60-70% trade from execution to best sell, and locking in $4,573 on that trade. So overall, a really fantastic day. And for those of you that are just joining us, these blue levels are placed prior to the market open. And then I develop trade plans around it. And we don't deviate from those trade plans. That's why you see the consistency that you do on this channel, a consistency you probably haven't really seen, or if you have seen, it generally is bullshit. But what separates what I do from the bullshit is this is preparation. And I've been doing this for over a decade. So I do not deviate from those trade plans. Sure, there might be other trades I might take that are outside of the scope of those initial trade plans that I give at 9 a.m. East, half an hour before the market even opens. But we will always execute this on those initial trade plans, our trade plans. That's what we're here for. And that's why the consistency isn't just on my end, but on the members' end as well. We have, I believe, 5 members coming up that are about to graduate Evolution 1 of the Size Up program. They're heading into Evolution 2. And the beginning of Evolution 2, they're going to be making a consistent average $820 something per day. As we size up, it's going to increasingly get more and more. So they're close to that $1,000 a day mark. And they're coming up on that. There's one that's already there, but we're going to do a graduation ceremony. I'm going to talk with the members and discuss with that tomorrow. But we're going to have a graduation ceremony for them coming up here in probably about a week. The other 3 or 4 should be caught up and they'll be graduated. So really excited about that. And the members' executions, I showed them yesterday, pulling in chat, and I could do that again today. It's just flawless entries, absolutely beautiful. All of their entries and exits look exactly like mine. It's incredible to see. I'm very proud of them. That's why I do this. And now let's talk about the other side of things, where if you do continue to trade a certain way, you will get cooked. So we had a new member come in, and he ended up hitting me up and writing a comment on a video about risk, about locking in $16,000. And this isn't a, I would never name the member because it's not about putting him on the spot. But what this is about is getting through, because I've made these same mistakes too, where I make trading about money. I did that at the beginning. That's why I failed and blew up those initial accounts. I'm super happy that he made $16,000 on one single trade of a trade plan that I gave. I get that. But that tells me that he's not respecting the sizing protocol and he's way oversizing. He should not be making $16,000, or he's entering and holding all day long, which is not what we do. It's not what I want anyone to do. You will fail like that. And I went on and I gave kind of a big mentality lesson today on screen share about, trading for money and not following these guidelines in this blueprint. And I've said this and made this analogy 1,000 times. It would be the same as, someone coming to you with a blueprint, or you have a blueprint to build your home, and then you throw that blueprint out the window, and you've never done this before. You've never built a house before, and now you're just going to wing it. Well, think of the problems you're going to have. There's always a massive, major disconnect and fundamental breakdown where it comes to trading and respecting the rules. Everybody knows and repeats that 90% fail and 10% make it. But that make it at 10%, that's only to gain initial consistency. But that's why that success rate is so low. It's low because people, for whatever reason, even though they say 90% fail, they don't respect it and they don't believe it. Well, you need to believe it, because it's not 90%. It's more like 95%, 98% fail that attempt this. It's not because it's hard. It's not because it's difficult. It's because people lack discipline and a plan and follow that plan to the edge of the earth. You have to, right? Just like the trade that I took on Qs. I didn't want to take it. I didn't like that trade, but it fit my strategy. Therefore, I have to execute it, or else it becomes random. Strategy is about getting rid of randomness and variables. Okay. When you have something that you could potentially have 1,000 variables, given variables, you need something that gets rid of all of those variables. And that's what strategy is. And one of the major variables is you deciding whether or not to take that trade or not. need to take out, because think of all of the variables involved in your thought on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you didn't get the best night's sleep. Maybe your thinking is flawed. Maybe your logic is flawed at that time. Maybe you saw something that doesn't really matter, and now you're making the decision based on seeing that. Do you understand? And that's why you have to follow that strategy. And that's why you have to follow the sizing blueprint, or you'll fail. It can't be just about making money, guys. So many people on this channel that are outside of the walls of Trick Trades, they want to comment like, of course this is about making money, you dummy. That's why we're here. It's like, but you, like, do you think a doctor says that? Do you think a professional Major League Baseball player says that? That every time that pitcher throws a pitch, he says, boom, that's another 20 grand. Boom, that's another 30 grand. No, fuck, of course not. He's a professional, and he's always trying to get better with his technique, and it's about the process of it. He's in love with the game. And if you're not in love with this game, if you're just doing this just simply to make money, you will fail. Just like when you do anything for money. I'm sure we've all taken jobs that were offered to us that were like, oh, but I'll get paid $5 more an hour, or $10 more an hour, or if it's on salary, I'll make an extra $10,000 or $30,000 a year, whatever it is. And then you get there and it's like, this fucking sucks, because you made that decision based solely on money. You cannot do that with your trading. If you do, your account, your trading account, will be cooked. In the same respect that if you walked into a doctor's office and that doctor sat you down and say, you are doomed, you would shit your pants. So if you're making it about money and I'm telling you you're doomed if you continue to do that, shit your pants, because that's what should be happening. You are doomed. You will blow up. You will be doomed to live the same life you're living right now. And if you're working towards getting out, and this is your way out of being a fucking day trader, then you need to start listening to people that have walked that path before you. Stop it that you know, because you guys before. I've been through rain's starting to increase again. We had a major storm coming in. I have no idea what it looks like on your guys' end. Internet is horrible right now. So if you want to learn to become a professional day trader and you want to work with a coach that actually gives a shit, not only that, but can actually get you there, come to tricktrades.com. And if not, no worries. Continue to join and watch my free stuff here on YouTube and on X. It's just going to take you longer. And if you have all the time in the world to get to your goals, no problem. That's why it's here. Okay, folks, I hope you all have an incredible evening. See you tomorrow. Adios. Later, guys.